Okay, let's talk about thumbnails for a moment. So the basic idea of a thumbnail is in conjunction with the title to entice somebody to click on your video, which will increase your CTR, better known as click-through rate, or click-through rate better known as CTR, but whatever we call it, it's important. It's the number of times that people are presented with your video versus the number of times that people click on your video. And it is so important, because unless we have a good click-through rate, then YouTube will not suggest our video to other people and our channel won't grow. It's that simple. So here's some things to consider when making thumbnails. I'm also going to give you an example and show a couple of examples from your own website. So first of all, consider the 3 E's. The 3 E's being eyes, emotion, and excitement. It's always better to have faces on thumbnails if you possibly can. Nice close-ups. Want to see the whites of eyes and beautiful smiles, or in fact not necessarily smiles, could be expressions of angst, expressions of surprise, but emotions. We need some emotion in there. Research also suggests that if you can have 2 faces as opposed to 1 face, then that is also a good thing. But we need to really see those faces clearly and they be showing some emotion. And I'll give you another couple of tips about that later on. Use colourful backgrounds. Nice and colourful and really bright, or in fact surprisingly a black background works really well, but I don't think that's actually going to fit with your brand very well. So some nice colourful backgrounds, make them really pop. Make them consistent so that when people land on it, it's pretty obvious, or when people see it, it's pretty obvious that it's coming from your channel. You do a great job of this, by the way, I think already, but the new branding looks excellent. So keep it nice and consistent. Oversaturate. Oversaturate means make the colours larger than life. The reason for that is that we want them to really pop and really stick out when they're compared to the competition. Over sharpen. In Photoshop and other graphics packages, you can sharpen pictures. The reason we want to do that is because, as I'll show you in a moment, we want to make the pictures look really sharp even when they're tiny, thumbnails, because a lot of people will be watching this on small screens, mobile phones, that sort of thing. So we need to be really over the top. Use visual storytelling. We talked about this on the call, didn't we? We need to get an idea of what the video is about by the thumbnail and entice people in. I think we talked about having Jesus wearing gangster sunglasses, sitting on the front of an expensive car or standing in front of an expensive car, and you 2 ladies, nice close-ups of your faces looking surprised. I think I'd be surprised if Jesus showed up in gangster sunglasses with an expensive car. People would watch that video to find out what on earth you were talking about. Show results. I guess if he's got an expensive car, then that's the result, isn't it? That's if the video is all about making money and being faith-centered or religious, having problems making money, and well, you can tell I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. Show the results. Plenty of money. Design small. That really encapsulates what I've just said. We need to make it so that the design looks good when it's small, and I'll show you how you can do that in Photoshop. But also you could do it just by zooming out or squinting your eyes, or even standing on the opposite side of the room and looking at your computer. Give people a reason to click. What's the promise when they click? What's the value of clicking on your thumbnail as opposed to somebody else's thumbnail? We know that. The content is great, but we need to sell them on the click, because what's being passed here, the consideration being passed here, is not their money, it's their time, and we only have so many days, hours, minutes, seconds on this planet. I know you think we go to somewhere better afterwards, or you believe that. I don't. So my time, your time, everybody's time is the most valuable thing nowadays. So give them a reason to click on the thumbnail. And let's have a look at a couple of examples from your website as to where at least some of these principles have been taken into account and what the results are. Now, as you know, I am big into maths, and therefore I need to say terms and conditions apply. We're working with very small samples, so these are probably not statistically significant, but they do demonstrate a point. So let's have a look. First of all, let's see what happens when we don't have all of those elements. So we've got this thumbnail here, which is not bad. You know, we've got two people in there, which is great, two faces, but we can't see them very well. We've got a colourful background, but it doesn't really pop. There's text on there, but honestly, I'm sitting here in front of my computer. I honestly can't see what that text says. I don't think I can zoom in, or maybe I can zoom in a bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, it's not going to let me zoom in. But anyway, you get the point. It's very difficult to see what that text is. Therefore, if we have a look at the click-through rate here, 2.5%. 2.5%. Let's have a look at another one. Say no to distractions. I can read that straight away. Got a nice close-up of your face. There's an expression there of humour, surprise. You know, it's not a stock photograph. I want to know what's going on here. We've got a nice colourful background. Look at this, 9.8%. That's a bit of a difference. That is a big difference. So let's call it 10% versus 3%. So what it means is approximately 3 times as many people would click on this video if the thumbnail was better. If this thumbnail gets 3 times as many clicks per number of times it's shown to people than this one, which would mean 3 times as many visitors, wouldn't it? So that's what we need to aim for. I'm not saying by any means that this one's perfect. I'm not saying that this one is terrible, but there are some basic concepts in here. Let's get an example over here of a thumbnail, which again isn't perfect, but it demonstrates a few things. Let's zoom in. We have a face. It's oversaturated. It's over-sharpened. It has an expression. It's quite a shocking expression, a surprising expression. It makes me wonder quite why this guy is so worked up. I want to find out. So I'm going to click on it, and that's the only job. The only job of a thumbnail is to get someone to click on it. We have some words on here. Why no views? Generally, just a few words on a thumbnail works really well. We don't want too many words on there, but we want to be able to read them, and I've made them pop. If I do this and zoom out, even when it's really, really tiny, I can still see that it says why no views. And that's what a lot of people will see on their mobile phones. So I would suggest redesigning some thumbnails that fit in at least with most of these principles. I do hope that was helpful. It was lovely speaking with you. I will send you this recording just as soon as it's finished. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.